So you're more afraid. So wait a minute. So you're more afraid of your mom's reaction than you are if you ever see your daughter again?
No, I'm absolutely petrified. Absolutely petrified. I know my mom will never forgive me. I'm never going to forgive myself because there's that chance that I might not see Caylee again, and I don't want to think about it.
If we found a nanny today and we found your baby, what's the next biggest hurdle for you in your life as far as who's it? Maybe explaining something to somebody, or what's the next biggest concern? I know your major concern now is finding your baby.
Honestly, that's all I care about at this point.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Diane Diamond, sitting in for Nancy Grace, and we are revealing to you the behind-closed-door interrogations of Casey Anthony, just released, and bringing them all to you. The Nancy Grace producer, Natisha Lance, has been outside the Casey Anthony home. She's with us now. Now, Natisha, I understand that Casey Anthony has just gotten a visitor. Who is it?
Yes, her attorney, Jose Baez, just arrived at the home. Now, there's also 2 security guards who are at the home, too. They are backed into the driveway. I'm not sure if you can see over my shoulder here. But these also look just like the 2 security guards who were with Casey when she was released from jail most recently. They're sitting outside the house when Jose Baez arrived. They went over to the car. One of them escorted him to the door. Cindy Anthony opened the door, let him in. One of the security guards went inside with him and then came right back out and assumed his post right outside the house up against the garage.
Okay, now, Natisha, I got to wonder, that all these rumors are rampant that she may indeed be arrested again on more check forgery charges. Do you think that might be what's about to happen there?
Well, it could be a possibility because when she was arrested last time, her attorney, Jose Baez, talked about how he was very frustrated with the way in which it went down because he had contacted the police officers and told them that if they were going to arrest her, he would do it in a dignified manner. He would bring her down to the sheriff's office and surrender her. So this time he's saying once again that if they're going to rearrest her, which it seems as if they are going to do that very soon, that he wants to do that in a dignified manner and surrender her himself.
Interesting, on the very day that all of these interrogation tapes of her have been released. Let's go out to the phones now, taking your calls on these breaking developments. Shirley in Iowa. How are you, Shirley?
Hello, fine. How are you?
I'm great.
I have 2 questions, ma'am. The first one is, have they found out about the bones and clothing yet?
Oh, okay. And what's your second question?
The knife they found, did they check it for DNA?
Okay, 2 good questions. Nikki Pierce is a local reporter there. Nikki, do you know the answer to either of those? Do we know about the bones and the clothing and the knife?
We don't know about the bones and the clothing yet. They were found in a park that is actually mentioned by Casey in one of these tapes, Blanchard Park. And if they've been investigated, we don't have that information just yet, but it could be released any time. What was the second question?
On the knife, a knife has been located?
I'm not familiar with a knife being located. I know that a gun was located in George Anthony's trunk, and that was taken out. And that was while Casey was out of jail, but it did not affect her status on home confinement.
Right. Now, I try to watch a Nancy Grace show every single night, but I hadn't heard about a knife either. So, all right, thanks for that. Lawrence Kobolinsky is our resident forensic scientist. Dr. Larry, let me ask you here. 12 weeks. If something horrible, if the worst case scenario has happened to this little girl, she's buried somewhere in the wet ground of Florida after all these hurricanes, will there be much left to test?
That's a good question, Diane, and I think after 3 weeks, when a body is under the ground for that length of time, I think decomposition is all but complete. Skeletonization can occur in that time. It could be longer. It depends on a lot of conditions, the acidity of the soil, scavengers and whatnot, but the likelihood is that the soft tissue would be expected to be gone.
Now, stand by, Dr. Larry, because I think Andrea in Texas has a question for you, too. Hi, Andrea. What is your question?
Hi, Ms. Diamond. Thank you so much for taking my call.
Sure.
Okay, so on the chloroform searches that they found on her laptop, can a computer expert look at the laptop and see if, on the website, if she placed an order, if it was billed to a specific credit card, the shipping address, anything to that effect.
Gotcha. Dr. Larry, forensically speaking, I would think that a computer expert would know those things.
There's no doubt about it. The one thing that we are good at is documents and looking at hard drives on computers. If the search was performed on that laptop, the police know about it. If the order was made on a credit card, they know about it. If the order was delivered, the police know about it.
Yeah. Forensically, you leave a footprint. Let's squeeze in one more phone call here. Rhonda in Florida. Hi, Rhonda.
Hello.
Hi.
You're doing a great job on covering the story.
Thank you.
My question is to your psychologist. Has anyone noticed that, how should I phrase it? When you get a new baby or a new brother or sister, you're real jealous. Seems like Casey is maybe real jealous.
Oh, Bethany Marshall, jump in here. Psychoanalyze this in 30 seconds. Do you think maybe that's what it was?
Well, I think what Rhonda's referring to is Casey being jealous of Cindy Anthony's attention towards her own child. And yes, I think there is a possibility. When you think of criminality, sociopathy, antisocial behavior, that type of personality, they want all the attention for themselves. So they love other people as long as they're need-satisfying objects, but they'll slice them and dice them as soon as the attention is turned away. So I think that's a brilliant question on Rhonda's part.
Did Maddie give you any money that day?
No, I would not have sold my daughter. If I wanted to really just get rid of her, I would have left her with my parents and I would have left. I would have moved out. I would have given my mom custody.
If the main thing you want to do is find your daughter, and you don't think lying to us is going to help us find her, why would you do that?
Because I'm scared, and I know I'm running out of options. It's been a month.
What are you scared of?
I'm scared of not seeing my daughter ever again.
Okay, if you're scared of not seeing your daughter again, okay, I want you to tell me how lying to us is going to solve that problem and help find your daughter quickly.
Yeah, wait till you hear what else Casey Anthony says she's petrified of. Good evening, I'm Diane Diamond, sitting in for Nancy Grace. Let's go to the attorneys. Doug Burns, criminal defense attorney. What do you do with a client like this? You're Jose Baez. You go over to her house. All these tapes are out now. Can you ever get a fair trial?
Well, it's very hard, and it raises a lot of interesting issues, such as being able to get a fair jury, you're right, and maybe having to move the case to a different jurisdiction on what we call a change of venue motion. Very, very difficult situation. The case, unfortunately, Diane, is being tried in the media, let's face it, and it's very hard to defend against that.
Yeah. Joe Lawless, jump in here. You're also a defense attorney. What do you do with a client like this who has obviously lied, oh yeah, and lied some more? What do you do to get her credibility back, or do you just wait for the trial?
Diane, it's not a question of the client's credibility. What you have to do is challenge what the police did here, which is lock a 22-year-old girl in a conference room, aggressively
they didn't lock the door.
Diane,
just closed it for privacy.
This is the most blatant violation of someone's constitutional rights I've seen in years. This is why the Fifth Amendment is there, to protect someone's rights. And then to leak the tapes, to give the tapes to the media.
This was a freedom of information that, you know, they were sent, I'm presuming, to the defense and then to us.
This woman of a trial if she's indicted. Whether or not the police have absolutely every right to keep evidence in a criminal investigation to themselves if they want to. They chose not to. The only reason for it is for shows like this to come on and accuse this woman of spewing lies about something that we don't have any proof of yet.
Doug Burns, jump in here. Was it okay for them to take her into a conference room at Universal, close the door, not lock it, like Joe said, and question her?
Well, I'd rather frame it just in terms of what the legal standard is. The standard is if they create a truly coercive atmosphere, if you put somebody in, and Joe knows this, I think he even wrote a book on this, but if you put somebody all the way in the back of a room with people hovering, it's a question of fact.
But there's a 3-year-old little girl missing.
I don't know the exact configuration in the room, but the other point is that, you know, you have the case for lying versus the homicide. They have no proof on the homicide, so it's a mix.
And she hasn't been charged with anything, folks.